But it would be very nice to Uber from there.
That would be another. I like it. Cars that drive themselves. Oh, yeah, I'm not. Maybe I would be scared.
Guess what I have in the board packet for everybody?
I would be scared. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. I guess Scott will slide into the entertainment. And Teresa, I didn't know if I told you, she said she might be a little late.
Okay. Well, do we want to give her another minute or two?
We can if we want to.
You guys decide.
It's just a few minutes after 5.
Unless you guys want to wait till 5:05.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll wait in just a few more minutes for one of our other board members. I'll start in a minute even if she's not here.
We had a theater meeting, but it just got canceled. We didn't have
I'll be talking now. We were with
Heather, we can babysit you. She can eat
This is our unofficial, official mascot.
Oh.
She's sweet, she's always good. She is. I'm gonna go to Janice.
Is that the same thing we have? That's the journal.
We'll go ahead and get started. If you'll bow your heads, please. Lord, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for the people gathered here tonight to better Manchester in any way that we can. May what we do be acceptable to you. In His name we pray. Amen. Okay. Has everyone on the board signed the paper? We'll need Teresa and Scott to sign it if they get here. Okay, I do need that, yeah. If you've had time to look at the agenda, if you would, I will need a motion to approve it and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, if you raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Moved by Robin and seconded by Jess. And all in favor. Okay. I got a phone call for those of you on the board who don't know this. I got a phone call from David Burt several weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. And, you know, we had asked him previously to look at trying to help us attract someone to develop a mill. And so when he called me, he said he had done some work on it, and he had a proposal, and he wanted to present it to the board. Well, we didn't want to do the whole board because it's not something that we're gonna vote on. So we, got 2 from MDA, 2 from the DDA, 2 from the city. And so we met, to listen to David's proposal. And so part of that proposal is that we have to vote to adopt it. And I'm gonna turn that explanation over to Kevin.
Yes, well, a little bit different necessarily. So what we're talking about tonight is a rural zone application, which did come out of those conversations about the mill. Because one of the best ways to incentivize developers is to have, these tax incentives. And so what we want to do tonight is talk about the rural zone application itself as a whole, which is one thing. So I want you guys to understand as a board what the city, this is not the MDA, this would be the city of Manchester that has to apply. So we'll be working in partnership with them. And the city manager and I have talked about it. And he's out of town tonight in a training, but when he gets back, we're going to talk again about the second piece. Like if you guys adopt this piece of it, then what do we do about the second piece? So the first piece of this is to talk about what the rural zone application is. And that's the handout that I gave you guys. So it's a program that designates specific downtown areas in qualifying rural communities, and it unlocks state income tax credits to incentivize private investment. Okay? It's created by the DCA, or the Department of Community Affairs, up to 10. It costs us nothing really to apply, except you've got to be competitive, because we'll get to this, but it is a competitive process. It's not a grant. It is a competitive process, so you do need to have some kind of skin in the game because you're applying for something. And then 10 zones are administered statewide each year. So you get 3 stackable tax credits to anything in the zone. And here's the cool thing, is that as a community, we get a say on what the zone is going to be. So like, that now, in the end, the Department of Community Affairs could trim it back if they need to, but we get to go to them and say, we want this zone to go, pretend, from the mill to the Piggly Wiggly. And we just need at least 50% of it to be historical context, which from what I can tell, just has to be built 1950 or earlier, which even from what I understand, somebody here, correct me if I'm wrong, includes that shopping center now where the Piggly Wiggly is. So like, we're gonna have a great application for the rural zone in terms of now what all could be incentivized to private investment. Because, like I said, they get these 3 stackable tax credits. Now, tax credits, I'm not trying to like, if you skip down a little, well, we'll get there, okay. So, you can stack on top of it. The designation lasts 5 years. One new business can generate all 3 at once for the owner, building, buyer, and the contractor. The designation will last up to 5 years, as long as we stay compliant and do the reporting like we're required to. The application is actually a proposed rural zone boundary map with GIS files, which is something that we would need to hire out. We don't have the capacity in-house, nor does the city, to do that, because you need every parcel, whether it's vacant, blighted, or historic. A market analysis documenting economic conditions, the business activity, and development potential in the zone. We would also need to hire that out. We don't have the potential in-house to do that, so a market analysis would be something that we would need to look at hiring. Community engagement, this is going to be a big one, and I think hiring somebody to help us do some of that is part of this proposal that you guys are going to look at here in a minute. So not only doing stakeholder interviews and focus groups, but holding a couple of public forums and show how, like, being able to show the residents, this is the proposal of the zone. What do you guys think about the zone? What would you include? But we'll have all the vendors here in this building, and we want to do public forum style. That way they're not tied to like one meeting time. It's open, it's a forum, it's from like 10 to 7. People can come in, and you've got time after working hours. So trying to make it more accessible to everybody. A feasibility study, identifying what types of businesses in the zone we could realistically support, and then proof that we meet eligibility, which is the poverty rate, the vacancy, the blight, and the compliance with state reporting requirements. How we would approach it, I was going to lead the application work in partnership with the city. David is going to help me where he can, just because he has some expertise in doing this and showing me like what buildings would be like, what they would consider blighted and things like that. We would hire out the Canvas Planning Group and Source Urbanism specifically to do the master planning and the GIS mapping components. Those require licensed professional expertise. This approach is going to maximize the value. It's only a $10,000 investment. It could be thousands more, while keeping us actively kind of in the driver's seat of it and having a hand in how we do it. One of the big things that I learned, so I just wanted to make sure everybody around the table understands, is the difference between deductions and incentives. So these incentives are a dollar for dollar match. So at the end of the day, these are directly taking money off of the tax bill, which is different than a deduction. The deduction reduces the income that you're taxed on. This credit is going to dollar for dollar reduce what these people owe, which is a big incentive to get people here. So like a real example would be if they buy a building for $200,000, the investment credit is 25%, so they would get 50% off their Georgia tax bill. If they spent $300,000 renovating it, they would get 30% of the rehabilitation costs, would be 90% off their Georgia tax bill. Now, here's the really cool thing for us. They have to hire 2 full-time employees to unlock any of these. So like they have to bring us a job, at least 2 full-time, decent paying jobs before they can unlock any of these other incentives, which I think works out really well for us. So we qualify. We meet the poverty rate, we meet the statistics in terms of also the number of people in the town and things like that. Grantville was just awarded one. That's a comparable community to us. And it's kind of, we're the community that this was built for. So like I said, DCA designates it to 10 zones per year. It's competitive, not automatic. These are due August 14th. And the word is, and our DCA representative from the state kind of confirmed, well, she didn't confirm, she just kind of shook her head when I asked the question. This is the last year that they're offering this program. So if we don't do this now, we will miss out. And we won't get 5 years of these tax incentives. So that's it. So what you're looking at here would be the project team, which is the second piece that Ms. Beverly can hand out now, if you the packets. The orange front packets.
Oh.
The rural zone.
I
Strategic
got
plan packet.
a couple extra.
Okay, I have one too. I just want you to see what you're looking at. So, Tolman, you were there.
You were there.
Jason, you were there representing the city. Donnie, you were there. The mayor, you were there.
This is what the
representing
meeting that we had the other day was about. The
What-
presentation by David Burt.
It was a work session.
No, Mayor, it was just a
No, it was a
stakeholder, like,
presentation. It
Who
was
are
not
the-
an official
Who are
meeting.
the stakeholders?
Beg your pardon?
Who are the stakeholders?
it's all right, Miss Beverly, we'll finish this, then we can answer it.
Yeah.
So the project team for this one will be, this is just the master plan component of the rural zone application, okay?
Step 1.
This is not the whole application. So to help us do the master plan, you'll have canvas planning, source urbanism, and village green properties. That page 2 is an introduction to those guys. Page 3 tells you about their team experience, so what all these guys have done. Canvas planning has done the master planning for all of those different groups: Trilith, downtown Hogansville, LaGrange, downtown Opelika. Source Urbanism did that Hiawassee Main Street. Village Green and Source Urbanism are working on Mountain Springs. Source Urbanism and Village Green did that downtown Hateville. So they've got lots of experience doing these kinds of things. This is Aaron. He'll be the project leader. He's canvas planning. This is all of his experience and achievements and employment history and things like that on page 5. And then page 6 was just a proposed study area. It's not the real study area, it's just kind of like an idea of what we would be looking at. But making sure that we do want to go from the mill to the Piggly Wiggly at least is the big thing. Of course, all of this is going to have community input, public forums, everybody's, if you look at page 7, the proposal includes exactly what we're going to do there. But all of this will have all of that, but what we really want us to include from the mill, like I said, to the Piggly Wiggly, I propose even looping in that funeral home that's down there, because I think maybe some tax incentives to rehab that would be a great deal for somebody. And so, because, you know, I don't know that we necessarily need it to remain a funeral home, but we don't need it to be vacant. So I'm just trying to encourage growth where we can. Page 7 is the proposal. So this is everything that Canvas Planning and Source Urbanism and the Village Green together are going to do for us. The strategic, we'll have to develop, as part of the rural zone application, we'll develop a working group of 5 people with a team lead. And so that will be kind of step 1 of this. We'll be developing who's on that group. Together with the city, because the city, remember, leads this application. We're just helping fund this piece of it, because we have a stake in this. The DDA has a stake in this. I mean, really, everybody in Manchester, we want to see downtown come back to life, has a stake in this. So that they're going to help us with the public engagement. Like I said, the focus groups and stakeholder interviews will be separate from community forums. We're going to host 2 community forums. We have missed, obviously, the water bill for May already went out, so we can't put the May, if we host one at the end of May, we can't do it in the water bill. So we'll need really a good Facebook effort, as well as we're looking at a mailer. You can do those directly through the U.S. Postal Service now, so looking at doing one, guessing maybe it cost about, it cost a couple thousand though when we were going to do one for the Christmas thing, but like bigger. We were going to go to Warm Springs and Woodbury and all that. So if we stay local, it should be much cheaper. But, you know, because we do want their feedback. We want to hear, what do they want in these areas? What would they want to see? Because we got to have a plan. The biggest thing with this rural zone application, guys, is you have to have a plan. They want to see, in order to say, yes, you get this designation and you can give people dollar for dollar tax credits, is to say you have a plan, you have goals, and you have a way that you're going to achieve it. So if they come down here and all they see is us fighting amongst ourselves, that's not going to help create like a rural zone space for us. Like we want input from everybody, because we want to get this plan achieved. We want to see it happen. So they're going to help us with those community forums. They'll help us with the market analysis and the plan development and recommendations, because within your master plan are specific required elements that are that SWOT analysis, the infrastructure inventory, the documentation of blight and distress, the goals to achieve the study area, revitalization outcomes, recommendations for new businesses, like all of that. And then any graphics and drawings and illustrations, like anything that we can do to make it where people can see it. Because telling people what we want to see, but then being able to see it are 2 different things. Like, I don't remember which group it was, but one of the Facebook groups this week has circling a ChatGPT rendering of Main Street that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so, like, it helps when people can see what it can become. And so that's one of the things that I really appreciated about some of the experience that this proposal brings to the table, is the pretty drawings and making sure that it's going to help people see.
And they're willing to do those and bring them and let everybody.
Yes, and the $10,000 total is a $5,000 engagement with Source Urbanism and a $5,000 engagement with King's.
And let me say this about that. These people that are saying that we can pay them $5,000 normally charge $25,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 for what they do. But because they went to school with David, and David is working with us, and he asked them, they're going to do it for $5,000, which is a great plus for us.
They just said it aloud.
Anybody got any questions? I know that's a lot of information.
Dr. Grantville got it, right? And y'all talked to him, we can have it. I'm just curious.
Well, you and I got to
We know contact Grant or,
I want you to.
I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Who got it? Like
Yeah.
who
She said who the people were that
did their master plan?
Be interesting.
and the application is something that we can do.
The application we can do, like, we
Yeah.
can start working on the application, but if you guys wanna do different proposals, I'll be happy to do that. You guys wanna do that? We can do that. You guys wanna look for other proposals?
I'm happy with this
I'm,
program.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
happy.
I think this is fine, in my opinion, we just, let's just get
to see
started.
something happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's up to you if you wanna look for different proposals, but you ain't gonna find a deal like that, I'm sure.
That's what I'm thinking, Jason, this is,
This is a gift.
this is,
Gifts in government?
I think this is great, because they're giving us a good deal. We know David, that's what he's doing,
Yeah.
so. And, with him leading on this, I think this is good.
He wants to know how much he's invested in Manchester.
Yeah. He has. Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
So what we need to do is we need to approve, this board paying for the, canvas planning and for the source, urbanism planning. You know, when we first, not when we first, but when we, in this process, we got to tie it all together. We got to work together with both, all the groups involved. And so, this is economic development, which is what our purpose is. So, I would need a motion and a vote to approve, services from Canvas and Source, urbanism.
I'll make a motion to, approve them. And I think this is a really good deal.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor, if you'll raise your right hand and say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed? And then, we also need to approve a letter of engagement for David, to get this kicked off. So I need a motion and a second for that as
Well,
well.
hold on, I have, hold on. I have, a draft of it for you guys.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we got it yet.
Oh, this is one we're drafting.
Oh, it's something about this here. Can we just read it?
No,
Okay. I'll just paraphrase. The first paragraph is to
well, we can
acknowledge,
pass it around too.
okay, acknowledge and document David's offer to pursue the Georgia Rural Zone application, market analysis, working group management, public engagement, support, plan development input. There is a timeline that it has to be done by August 14th. Has to be postmarked by then, right?
Actually, it has to be in the office.
It has to be in their office on the 14th.
Well, postmarked by 5 p.m., well, hand delivered in their office by 5 p.m. or postmarked.
David is providing these services entirely on a volunteer pro bono basis. It is long.
And then this is, the professional service contract and like the vendor template. So this would be, because right now we don't have a standard vendor contract template, so that would be that right there. And if you guys want, we can look at those two. And we can move those to our board meeting on the 21st if you prefer. We can go in here and I can print more copies for you guys to look at. If you want to do that.
That's probably something that could wait.
Yeah, it could wait. You guys want to do that?
Yes.
yeah, give us time to review it.
Yeah.
But we do need to go ahead and make the motion and vote for the approval of the letter of engagement to David.
Well,
Right.
no, not necessarily.
We can wait
Because
on
there's
that.
nothing he's doing. That's the market analysis. That's
Okay.
part of this. There's nothing that stops us from getting, like the city from getting started on applying for the rural zone right now.
So we can just wait till the regular meeting at the end of the month.
Because this, what we're meeting about today is not whether or not the city is going to apply for rural zone. What we're meeting about is whether or not the MDA is going to fund the master plan piece of that for the city.
So we're going to table this and this.
Yes.
Do you have a few minutes to look over that?
And what I'll do is I'll print more copies for you. You can take it.
That's yours?
I thought our printer was going to be quicker, but it wasn't.
It's
So
slow.
it doesn't matter how long you come up here with. Time
It's
it
slow.
does take forever to print.
Does anybody have any questions about any of that before we? So we voted on the two things that we needed to accomplish in this meeting. All right. Public comment, do y'all have anything you'd like to say?
I do.
Okay.
I'm Brenda Pearson. I live here in Manchester. I'm here because I was concerned in regards to what was later identified to me as a stakeholders meeting. Even though you guys said it was only 2 people from the board, I personally with my own eyes saw more coming in from the MDA board. So I understand that maybe all you guys considered was 2 people, but I saw more than 2 people. The concern for me is that this emergency meeting, because if you guys had a meeting, even with 2 people, and the matters that are discussed today were discussed at that meeting, it doesn't matter whether you have a quorum or not. I think that everybody should review on this board the Open Meetings Act. And if you have questions, talk to the state attorney general. Because having an emergency meeting so quick after your stakeholders meeting, it kind of insinuates that some of these things were discussed at that stakeholders meeting, because this meeting is just to vote on what was discussed then. And that is not transparency. I understand you guys have a deadline, you want this grant and everything, but understand that in this community, we are the stakeholders, the citizens of this town. And just like you have a deadline and you want to do that application, we will contest. We can send in a petition to the same people that you apply with and let them know that it's not the stakeholders, it's a select group of people that make these decisions for the city. So if you want the cooperation of the real stakeholders, you all have to open up. It can't be just your little circle. We don't need a personal invitation to attend a meeting. It's called an open meeting. It's called posting the meeting. Posting it on your door on Sunday so that who can see? There is very limited transparency, and that I feel like that's delivered with your board. You don't want the stakeholders. You just want your select group to comment. And that is no longer going to be okay in this town. We as stakeholders and taxpayers, we will, every application that you apply for, it's great about the rule, but know that that same government entity will get a petition from us saying that it doesn't include the stakeholders. This is a select group. So I really want you guys to consider being more transparent. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a member of the public. My name is Mika Lowe, community advocate. And my concern, there are several, I'll focus on one, and that is the capacity at which David Burt is advising, is on the DDA, is offering gifts. And I would advise you guys not to use the word gifts in government. You should never be accepting gifts. And what does David get back in return? The stakeholders, which are the public, we want to know. Because what I'm saying is his hands is all over the place, but he's not here today. And it makes me to believe that you guys are here, either knowingly or unknowingly, to do David Burt's bidding. We understand that he has the development out on Nebula Road, and we see him, but we don't see him. He's lurking in the background, giving advice, giving gifts, offering his friends services at a discount to the city. Guys, we are trying to dig ourselves out of a 30, 40-year hole here. And what you guys are doing here today is exactly the same thing that got us in that hole. What are you doing? It's just almost an embarrassment that you guys are here representing the city, representing the public. None of the public is here. The public was not at that meeting. When was it? Last week? Yeah. Last week. Someone had to see y'all walking in the door. After you see a council member, members of the MDA, members of the DDA, David Burt, no members of the public. And now we're here today to take a vote on what you discussed in a private stakeholders meeting. And I say it's private because Georgia law has the Open Meetings, Open Records Act. And everything that was done on that day violated that act. Citizens have requested the minutes, agenda, a roll call of everyone that was at that meeting, what was discussed. And between the DDA chairperson, who's here today, and our city clerk, and the chairman of the MDA, who's also here today, no one has given us that. We've been almost made to feel like this was a meeting for us and not for you guys. So I would just ask you to please respect the dignity, the voice of the people who have made Manchester what it is. You guys are so busy trying to prepare Manchester for the people who are here, who are coming to Manchester, overlooking the needs, the desires, the hurt, the pain of the people who are already here. And so we are tired of this. I'm speaking as a member of the public, and I'm hoping that members of the public will see this and hold you guys accountable for the roles that you play in making Manchester a better place. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Thank you. I need an motion to adjourn the meeting. Second. Meeting adjourned. All in favor? Thank you. Do y'all have copies
Did you still want me to stay? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I just want to talk to you about it. Is it live?
It is live. Everything in this room is for the public viewing.
I just like to step over here so that it can hear me.
Okay.
And I just wanted to come talk to you.
We're not prepared to talk right now. We have to actually meet with the public. We can set up a meeting for you to meet with the public.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll set up something.
Yeah. Do you want, can I write down the contact info?
We got you're a public, you work for the government. We know where you are. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that because I don't, I want to be transparent, so I'd be happy to talk to you.
I think we have to be transparent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would love to.
Thank you so much.